Welcome to the Rubbish FPL channel. This video I'm going to talk about how my game week went and went as well as it's been going as our season, the plans for next game week, and a little bit about blank game weeks, double game weeks, just to have a bit of a thought about that. So this game week went as well as most of the season, got 40 points, the average was 48. It was 9.4 million game week rank, which amazingly isn't the actual worst game week rank of the whole season. That was a 9.5 million game week rank. The actual, looking at the team and how players did, it was just the only returns basically were Haaland captain, who everyone has, Gabriel 6 points, it was fine, and Doug, who got 5 points after he got an assist. So, but then obviously no bonus, lost his clean sheet. So overall, not very good. Also, I made a transfer. I got Alderete in for Rondon because I just wanted more cover on the bench because I knew Ekatike was going to miss out very likely at that point. And then you never know with any of the players, especially City players. In the end, Rondon actually played 90 minutes, got 1 point, which was actually the same as Alderete. So I didn't lose any points as such, but it was basically wasted the transfer. But there we go. But looking at the team, I don't think that's a sort of like that awful a team, a 4.4 million ranked team. Let me know if I'm wrong, what I've done wrong. Looking at, some players, I think I could have made some changes earlier. So, like Foden, I had probably for 2 to 3 weeks too long. I had Cunha, I went in. Obviously, captaining him was a mistake, but I don't think it was a mistake getting him in against fixtures against Wolves, Burnley and Leeds. And I would have hoped for, and I think most people would have expected more than just 1 goal from those 3 games. Looking at the, so it's not gone this game week, but another 17, 18 game weeks to go. You never know. Obviously, I'm not going to win it from this point, but there'll be potential for some big rank changes. I'm hoping that other teams around my rank, those are teams who aren't really playing now, I made a few good decisions, a few good captains, and I could get a decent rank, an okay rank. I'm hoping that I beat my rank from my worst ever rank, which was 1.5 million. So I think I've mentioned that in previous videos. So it's a long way. It's probably like about 80 odd points I need to gain. So I need to make some good decisions. So we'll see how it goes. Looking at the actual game week ranks of this season, it just shows how poorly it's gone. I've only had 1 game week where the actual game week rank was within the top 1 million, which obviously top 1 million game week rank is not great. It's alright, but I think if you were to have a game week rank within the top 1 million every single game week, you'd probably do very well in FPL that season, or maybe even win it. So hopefully the rest of the season I'll get at least a few more and get some big rank changes. But also, and that leads me on to next game week and my plans. And I've actually going to play the Wildcard. I've actually activated that already. And I've made a few changes to beat the price rate changes. So just in case, I don't want to be priced out of any changes of any players I definitely want. So I got in Declan Rice, Bruno G, and Thiago in already. All those players I'm happy with. I 100% wanted those in. I think the Declan Rice for sure. Bruno G, he's in good form, he's scoring well. and obviously Thiago's done well the last couple games. He's likely to stay. There's different options which I'll go on, which may change things, but I think those will be in the actual game week 22 team when it's locked in next week. But we've got some time to think about that, because obviously it's the FA Cup this weekend, so no Premier League games. But we'll get to see the matches, see who plays in the team, see who's performing, see who's fit, and players like Semenyo, who's just signed for City, whether he'll actually play for City in the FA Cup, and if he's going to be a good option. I have a feeling it won't be as good an option as he was when he played for Bournemouth, because he 100% played every game. For City, he's probably not going to play every single game, but if he's playing for a City and he plays for 90% of the games, then obviously City are a better team than Bournemouth overall, so there's more chances of getting more points. But there's always the risk with a City midfielder, the whole Pep roulette thing, and that's what. Yeah, but we'll just have to see how it goes. At the moment, I've had Reinders and Foden for a while on my team. As I mentioned before, should have got rid of Foden probably 2-3 weeks ago, because he's blank now for about 5 weeks, so that's not ideal. Reinders, he's relatively cheap, but I think there's probably better options. I think Turkey is a potential, and Semenyo maybe will come to my thoughts. Other players looking into for game week 22 and in this wildcard team is Chelsea players. Because looking at the fixture ticket, they're right at the top overall, based on the next 6 games. So it's Chelsea at top, then Palace and West Ham, which probably don't want any from West Ham, Arsenal, who have already got some players from them. So at the moment, no Chelsea players in my latest wildcard draft, but I'll be looking at Palmer and Delap. The Palace players, Munoz is in my wildcard draft. I want him in my team. I've not had him this season, which is another reason I've not done well. A lot of people had him, but he was scoring loads of points. I think he had 3 or 4 double-digit returns so far this season before he was injured. He's basically an out-of-position defender. He's basically an attacker. And it looks like, I think it's estimated that he'll be back for game week 22. Whether he'll start is another question. But I think even if he doesn't start, just having him on for the bench, and then he's good for the rest of the season. But we'll see in the FA Cup, see how he does. If he plays, we'll see how it goes. Other players, I think, that on my list is I'm probably certain to be in the team is Bruno Fernandes. I think even though United, you don't know what you're gonna get from them, Bruno will always find a way to score, whether it's a penalty, an assist, a goal, on set pieces. He'll find a way. He'll find a way to score. And a little bit about in the future, a bit more ahead in the future, blank game weeks and double game weeks. There's going to be a blank game week in 31, and it will depend on obviously who goes through to the final. It's going to be 2 teams from Newcastle, City, Chelsea and Arsenal. They're playing, the first leg is this coming midweek, second leg is the 3rd, 4th of February. So depending how the results go, who gets to the final will determine who's going to blank in 31. Looking at the fixtures, Everton play Chelsea, City play Palace, Newcastle play Sunderland and Wolves play Arsenal. So we'll see how that goes. I mean, we'll know who's blanking a couple of days before game week 25 deadline. So we've got some time to work out who's not going to play. We won't know when the doubles will be scheduled at that point, so we can't plan that for that sort of to do your team to do with double game week, but you'll be able to look at your team for blank game week, who's not playing between all those teams, and if you need to make a bunch of transfers, maybe even a free hit. So that's game week 31. That's going to be a blank. So that's about 9 game weeks time. So there is time, and there's time to ideally build up your transfers up to 5 free transfers, and maybe you can avoid using the free hit, but see how that goes for you. Or obviously, as you say, it's all team dependent using your team. But I think a lot of people will have players from, in particular, Arsenal. Everyone will have Haaland, maybe another City player. At that point, you might have one Chelsea player, maybe another, and maybe Newcastle player. So I think people are going to have at least sort of, I reckon, 4 or 5 players from those teams. So you can't bench all of them. You might make a couple of transfers, free hit, see how it goes. And the other blank game week that will be coming up this season is 34, and that's dependent on the FA Cup. But this is very early days because the FA Cup is only starting this week for Premier League teams, so we don't know who's going to be blanking. We can maybe have a prediction, have a thoughts who it's likely to be. Arsenal players, City players. We'll see how it goes. But game week 34 is the 25th of April, and that's the same day as the semi-final of the FA Cup. So obviously, if they're playing the semi-final of the FA Cup, they won't be playing in game week 34. So that's more ahead in advance. We can't even think about planning for that unless this weekend, City lose or Arsenal lose, and then you don't have to think about them blanking. But once again, if they're blanking in 34, there'll be some double game weeks after that, and we won't know when that will be. So I think usually it's for game week 36, maybe 37. So right near the end of the season. So that's well in advance. So anyway, we'll see how it goes, the FA Cup. So anyway, that's the end of the video. Enjoy the FA Cup this weekend. See if hopefully some good matches. See if we get some good FPL related data on who's playing, who's starting, who's in good form. Hoping players like Munoz get some minutes. But we'll see. And then next week, I may do another video about when I've nailed down my wildcard draft, and hopefully see how it goes. And then we'll see how it goes. And I've probably had some further thoughts by then, after the FA Cup and then the midweek, the League Cup games. But let me know your thoughts. If you're playing the wildcard, who's in your team? Who are the essential ones? The essential players? Yeah. And anyway, thanks for watching. And if you can, click on that subscribe button, the share button, the notification button. That'd be much appreciated. Thanks. Bye.